Hey everyone, I'm Eric from Lonesome Reader. This is the second time that I've done a reading vlog. I thought this would be a really good opportunity. I'm doing something exciting this weekend where I'm going up to Liverpool for the first time. A friend of mine moved up there, so I'm going to go see him. And then I'm going on to the Gladstone's library, which I think is still in England, or it might be just in Wales. It's somewhere on the border between England and Wales. And the Gladstone's library invited me to stay there as a guest for the weekend. They are a library, they're an actual library, but they're also a hotel. You can stay there and I think have a sort of reading retreats. But also I've seen a lot of writers talk about how they're going to stay there and work there. So it's going to be a great opportunity to do a lot of reading and just relaxing and get away from all the craziness of my house move for a while. I thought I would do something a bit different in film so I can show you our new garden that's attached to our flat. So this is the lovely space we have, and there's a garden studio out and back which has heating and electricity, and so it'll make a great writing room. As always, one of the most exciting things about going away for the weekend, particularly a reading weekend like this, is I can bring lots of books to read. And this is the pile that I want to bring with me. So just a few books and a bit ambitious. I've talked about a lot of these before. This is Tin Man by Sarah Winman, a very plain cover because it's an advanced copy. But I've heard so many good things about this. I'm really looking forward to it. I enjoyed her last novel, A Year of Marvelous Ways, so much. Night Sky with Exit Wounds because I want some poetry in my life. I randomly got sent this little short story called Territory of Light, so I thought I'd try it out. But I'm also bringing more short stories because my boyfriend's coming with me and I like to read short stories aloud to him, so I'm going to read him some of these. I'm particularly excited about the new Granta Best of Young American Novelists. This is the third edition that they've done this, and there's some really great writers included on their list, like Lauren Groff and Yagyasi and Chinelo Akparanta. There's also Kingdom Cons by And Other Stories by Yuri Harara, who is a writer that I've heard so much about but I've never read before, so really want to try this new book out. And here's a guilty admission. I still haven't finished The Sport of Kings, even though I started this over a month ago and I've read about 200 pages of it, and I'm really enjoying it, but for some reason I just haven't got through it yet. I don't know why this happens sometimes with books where you're really enjoying it, but you just sort of put it aside sometimes and don't get back to it, even though I think it's great writing. But it's shortlisted for the Bailey's Prize, so I really need to finish it, so hopefully get through the rest of this. So there we go, I'll take you on the journey. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise, but I do still live in London, so there's airplanes and other things, but here we go on the journey.
Sitting on my own, girl, I've had time enough to grow a bit for you. I'm hiding now in cause, yeah, I've been trying to find a way back home to you. These California stars, girl, they've been hanging out, yeah, hanging out for you. Cause I know that you love a man whose follicles are growing just for you. Could you find a job for someone who don't know the first thing? Could you find a job for someone who don't know the first thing? Ray? Yeah.
So it's Sunday morning and I am finally here at Gladstone's library. I arrived yesterday. I had a somewhat chaotic time. I arrived at Liverpool late Friday night. The traffic was really bad and so we got in really late, so that was a bit exhausting. And then on Saturday morning it was raining really hard, and it continued to rain really hard all throughout the day. So I was hoping to explore Liverpool a bit and get to see a few things there. but had no such luck. Yeah, we just got washed out. And also we had booked a rental car to drive here, but when we got to the rental car place, they didn't actually have a car. So we were a bit stuck, and we had to walk around in the rain to different car rental places trying to find somewhere that actually had a car. So that was all a bit stressful and exhausting. And I felt like I didn't even really get to see anywhere yesterday, but then had a nice drive here to the Gladstone's library, and we settled in, had a really nice pub dinner, and now I've been spending a bit more time exploring the building. This building was built in 1889, which coincidentally is the same year that my house that I just moved into recently was built. It's named after William Gladstone, who was a prime minister for 4 terms and was a really big cultural figure. He amassed a big private library, which was finally converted into this semi-public library. So they have some nice reading rooms and nooks. So I'm gonna go and read a bit more of Sarah Winman's novel Tin Man, which I started early this morning. She just has this beautiful writing style that I really get into. And also I've got a bag of licorice all sorts to get me through the afternoon, and then I'll probably have a Sunday roast a bit later and a trip down to the Wales coast. So I'll check in a bit later on.
No one ever said enough. It's hard to talk when you were always acting tough. Something in your eye, and you don't need someone to tell you life gets rough. The boy who made the movie owed it all to love. Nothing left to chance. You won't be disappointed anymore. You don't really want to know. Keep the shadows and they'll follow you. Spin the bottle, baby, and they'll see what's new. Simplify the math, add but don't subtract, and in my word for you, try to be the person that you want me to. Nothing left to chance. You won't be disappointed anymore. Nothing left to chance. You won't be disappointed anymore. You don't really want to know. Keep the shadows and they'll follow you. Spin the bottle, baby, and they see what's new.
Hey everyone, it's Monday morning. I'm here at the Gladstone's library still. Yesterday I spent a lot more time reading. I finished reading Elizabeth Strout's novel, Anything is Possible, although it's more like interlinked short stories than it is a novel. But I'd started reading that novel before I came here, so I wanted to finish that off. She's an amazing writer, and I always really connect with her because she's from Maine and I'm from Maine. But she has such a wonderfully succinct way of packing in a lot of story. I also read a lot more of Sarah Winman's novel Tin Man, and it's gotten really devastatingly sad in a way. Like, it's interesting because she writes about really serious things, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly depressing in a horrible way. But she has such a great way of writing about relationships and sexuality and the process of grief that I'm finding it really moving. So this is definitely a novel to watch out for. It was also nice when I went on Twitter and I haven't been checking social media all that much while I've been here. I've been trying to avoid going on it too much. But when I went on there, I just coincidentally saw Bob from the Gutter Bookshop, which I talked about in my last video. He had just read this novel as well and was talking about how much he loved it. So I think that's like wonderful when people that you like are reading the same novel at the same time just by coincidence. So yesterday, after having a long reading session, I also went to the north coast of Wales. It's a real like old-fashioned type seaside town. There's a pier there which we got some ice cream and walked down until a seagull came along and actually snatched the ice cream out of our hands, and then drove up along the rural coast where there was lots of sheep, and just had a nice walk around, and then had a Sunday roast at the local pub and played some Scrabble, and then came back to cozy on in and watched the film Airplane, which is really just an endlessly funny movie. So today I'm going to be leaving. I'm just going to do a bit more reading and lounging around in some of their reading rooms. I think what's great about this place is not only are there lots of books and there's lots of spaces to read and concentrate, but you know, there's just a whole atmosphere of, like in the breakfast room, there's lots of people here who are obviously here like writing conferences, and they're chatting about literature, and you just feel this whole like atmosphere of lively like cultural atmosphere. So I'm sad to be leaving, but tonight will be fun. I'm going back to London, and there's the party for the Green Carnation Prize. There's some really good books up for the award tonight, including Garth Greenwell's book and the amazing non-fiction book How to Survive a Plague, about the AIDS crisis. But before I go, it's a bit of a grey day today, but I think I'll be able to actually explore Liverpool a bit more. So I'm going to try to go to the Tate and see that there's apparently a big beautiful library there. But I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've gotten a sense of what the Gladstone's library is like. I'd definitely recommend coming to stay here if you're ever in the area. So I'll speak to you soon, and happy reading, everyone.
Baby crossed an ocean just to see what she could see. Had the world beneath her feet, a rose between her teeth. Spent a lifetime loving, spent a lifetime living fine. But since she broke her heart, yeah, she needs